Hi, I'm Gabriel, and this is Black Force Comics Weekly Review, Episode 46, brought to you by Scaldic Media and Raising K. So, let's talk about stuff. Remember, it's full of spoilers, so if you're not ready for them, fast forward through that bit, and then we'll talk about the next thing. Alright, so let's get started with this week's comics. So there's a lot of good comics this week, so it was really hard to choose 4 good comics out of all these really great comics. So let's get started with the ones that I did happen to choose out. Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 10 is our first one that we're going to look at today. And this one picks up with Peter Quill was kidnapped by the Bardocks, by somebody with a B. And the Guardians were also on another prison planet that these people owned, that they were using to literally force people to mine for them. They were doing enslavement. It was just a crazy situation. And the Guardians of the Galaxy took out this entire planet's regime of guards, and the warden just took out everyone, just killed them ugly like. And that was in the last issue. So in this issue, we have Peter Quill fighting on the other planet that they own, which is kind of their home planet. And he's fighting in a gladiatorial type battle arena, and he's totally kicking butt because he's Peter Quill. That's what he does. He doesn't need all of his armor to do stuff all the time. He's pretty awesome. And then Kitty shows up, and the guards are telling the head leader guy the prison planet was beaten. And he says, well, where's all the guards? Where's the warden? Where's all the people? They're all dead. He said, how many Guardians are there? Well, the numbers fluctuate between 5 and 15. Right now there's 5. And 5 people beat our entire planet? Yes, that's what the Guardians do. And so Kitty Pryde shows up, puts her hand through the dude, and says, like, you better surrender, or I'm going to pull my hand back out and take whatever's inside of you with me. And he's like, we never surrender. So sure enough, she pulls out his heart thing. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. So check that one out. Guardians of the Galaxy, they save Peter Quill, and her and Kitty and Peter kind of make up again. We'll see what happens. All right, so that's Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 10. Next up, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps Rebirth issue. So, the Rebirth issue with the Green Lanterns was kind of a letdown for me. It had Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz and Hal Jordan as old school Hal Jordan. It didn't give us any explanation or any logic as to the continuity of what happened with the previous Green Lantern story, where Hal Jordan stole the gauntlet and he was literally becoming a Lantern. It just blank. That didn't happen. With this issue, they actually give us some closure with that. So Hal Jordan is inside of a meteor, and he's saying, you know what, I'm losing control, I want to stay who I am. He takes the gauntlet, he uses all of his will to create a stone of the will, the power, and he creates a ring, a Green Lantern ring. And he says the Guardians said they were the only ones that had the power to do it. I've always shown them wrong, I can do it now. And so he creates a ring and turns himself back into old school Green Lantern. So now we find out what happened and why it's like that. So it was really good. I'm thankful for that. Thank you, DC, for doing a couple of things right out of your Rebirth. All right, next up, another Rebirth, Detective Comics number 936. This one has the team of all the young guys that Batwoman and Batman were getting together. And in Detective Comics number 935, Batman was attacked by these military type bat people. And Kate Kane and the rest of the new team that her and Batman were forming, which included Clayface, Spoiler, Red Robin, who else? A couple of other people. They had been training them to be a team, a Gotham team. And so Batman's beat up, and they're like, okay, well, we gotta use y'all. We didn't want to use y'all, but it's coming to that point. So she gets them together, says, we need help. So she calls in her dad. Her dad comes into the Batcave, and he's like, okay, well, let me help y'all by destroying y'all. Turns out he helped create these Bat Soldier Army, and they start attacking them, and Clayface gets them out of there at the very end. Batwoman's all, I trusted you, Dad. Well, of course, he was your dad, and he let you down. So they escape, and that's the end of that. It was an interesting issue. So, DC's starting to do something right. I don't know, maybe just that initial Rebirth issue was kind of scary at first. But they're catching on slowly but surely. All right, so one more before we move on to the kids comic. Civil War 2, issue number 3. This is the midnight release cover. I kept one for myself because, it's amazing. So if you haven't kept up with the Civil War and you don't want to know who dies, go ahead and fast forward for like the next 30 seconds. All right, gave you a warning. This is who dies in Civil War, issue number 3. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Banner, the Hulk, is killed in Civil War II, issue number 3. Hawkeye takes him out with the special arrow that Bruce Banner himself had made, and he gave to Hawkeye a few months earlier, saying, look, if you ever see me turning, I need you to kill me because I know you're the only person capable of doing it without any type of remorse. And so Hawkeye's like, okay, I'm weirded out by it, but I accept. And so everyone comes to Hulk because Ulysses said that he's going to Hulk out and kill everyone. And so they all go to Hulk. Carol Danvers, Tony Stark, they're all there. They're arguing, saying, look, we can't do this. And, you know, the issue that they're having with the whole Civil War thing. And Bruce Banner's getting mad. And there's a flicker of green in his eyes. And right at that moment, there's an arrow through his head. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's not as, for me, personally, it wasn't as, I guess, emotional as it was watching Jimmy Rhodes die, as watching the War Machine dying. Hulk is a founding member of the Marvel. He's a founding member of the Avengers. It was sad, but I think I was sadder when War Machine died. So that's that. Issue number 3. Check that out. All right, finally, for our kids issue, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 12, the new adventures, or amazing adventures from Nickelodeon. In the previous one, they had Muckman was captured by Baxter Stockman's technology and was turning into a muck monster. And Joe Eyeball was with the Turtles trying to help them get his friend Muckman back. And in this issue, they find out that it's Baxter Stockman that created the machine that overtook him. He's turning larger and larger, turning into a muck monster. And it's not until they shoot Joe, the Eyeball guy, up to the muck monster, and he talks to the Muckman and says, look, you're a hero for the city. People believe in you. You got to believe in yourself that you are that hero. And just that conversation shorts out Baxter Stockman's whatever he's got machine on his brain, and Muckman reverts back to Muckman. And the news people are there. How did you do this? He said, well, I had to face demons inside of me to rise up to the occasion. Good moral story, good story behind it. So that's Teenage Mutant Turtles, Amazing Adventures, issue number 12. Check that one out. All right, so let's talk about next week's comics. So there's a few good comics coming out this week, or next week, as there were this week and the previous week. There's just been a lot of good comics coming out. So let's get started. Archer and Armstrong, number 5, for all my Valiant fans. That one's coming out. Aquaman, issue number 3. And Aquaman, I really enjoyed out of all the Rebirth because it had continuity. It carried over from what Aquaman was doing pre-Rebirth into Rebirth. So I really enjoyed that. As well as Nightwing. Nightwing came out this week as well. Great story, carried over. I really liked it. I liked Grayson. I liked the story behind Grayson. So this was a really good carry on to Grayson coming back to Nightwing. We also have Astonishing Ant-Man, issue number 10. If you're a father and you haven't been reading this, what are you doing with your life? You need to jump on this Astonishing Ant-Man. It'll make you feel better as a father because this guy feels sorry for him. All right. Also, we have Batman, issue number 3 coming out, which we'll just tell you Batman number 3 is coming out. Here's a cool one that's coming out that I've been looking forward to. Betty and Veronica from Archie Comics. They're having their own comic series started, just like they did way back when, and it's starting with issue number 1 next week, so check that one out. It's going to be a cool series. And lots of really amazing covers on that one. I mean, literally, I think there's 24 different covers on that one coming out next week. Also, if you're a fan of Adult Swim and stuff like that, Brickleberry, issue number 1. It's going to be a short 4-part series, so check that one out. Also, Captain America, Civil War number, messing it up. You don't skip all that. Let's rewind that. Brickleberry, after Brickleberry, we go on to Contest of Champions, issue number 10 will be coming out. As well as the new Deadpool and the Mercs for Money. Now, Deadpool and the Mercs for Money was originally a short series, maybe 6, 7 issues altogether, 8 issues. But now they're going to have it as an ongoing storyline, thanks to all you Deadpool fans out there. So Deadpool and the Mercs for Money, issue number 1 will be coming out. Also, for my Valiant fans, Faith is going to have her new ongoing series. She just had a 4-part series that came out not too long ago. Now she's going to have her own ongoing series. So that's pretty cool. I like Faith. Green Lanterns issue number 3. Then we're also going to have another Rebirth that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully they don't mess this one up. Hellblazer Rebirth is coming out next week. Also, we're going to have Justice League number 1 because Justice League Rebirth came out. And it was pretty good. It showed the introduction of the new Superman, our old Superman, into this DC world. So it was a really good series. Really liked it. Also, just to finish it up, there is Tales from the Dark Side, issue number 2 coming out. And Thunderbolts issue number 3. And Thunderbolts has been a really good series. It's about a whole bunch of, I guess, reformed criminals and Bucky working together to do those mysterious things that no one else would do. Kind of like the Suicide Squad, but for Marvel. All right, so that concludes comics coming out next week. Let's talk about some news. All right, so first off, let's say again, there's terrible acts of just all sorts of craziness going on in this world. Our hearts and our prayers go out to people in France who got attacked by this vehicle that was veering down a beach during one of their celebrations. So, you know, our hearts and prayers with the family and friends of those that passed away. They were slain in this horrible incident. So yeah, that's that. Next up, let's talk about some of the geeky news that came out. Ghostbusters, the movie, came out this past Thursday, and it wasn't bad. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it really wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. The cameos didn't seem forced, and there was a cameo from every main character. The plot was kind of, could have used a little bit more work on that, but I enjoyed the special effects, and Thor, Chris Hemsworth, was pretty funny. He could be in a comedy trope. The dude was hilarious. And what's her name? The girl with the glasses, the one that was Abigail. She was the one that was in Spies. Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy, she's known to do a whole, look at me, I'm clumsy, overweight girl, look at me do stunts and silliness. And that really turns me off. But she did really good. She played a good character. It was honest. It was heartfelt. I enjoyed that. I really like seeing Melissa McCarthy in that type of role. Similar to that of her role in Spies, which is probably one of the few movies of her that I do like. Which is cool that they're bringing out a movie number 2. All right, so that's that. Also, Pokemon Go has been out for a little over a week now, and I'm just going to say this. If you're walking out into traffic and wrecking your car, don't blame Pokemon Go. It's your own ignorance. That's the truth. It's not the devil, it's a game. Facebook's the devil. I'm just kidding. I'm the devil. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not the devil. But really, stop saying things to devils. Stop going out into traffic. Stop wrecking your vehicles. Have someone else hold the Pokemon control. Like me and my 8-year-old. That's what we do. We cruise around. My 8-year-old takes the control. That's the way you should do it. Okay? Don't endanger yourself. Don't endanger others for a game. It's not worth it. All right? So, that concludes the news for this week. Let us know what you're reading. Let us know what you think about Civil War III taking out Bruce Banner. Was it a big deal to you? Did it affect you in any way? Were you more saddened by War Machine dying as I was? Let us know, and we'll see you next week. Oh, also, we're going to start up a new 5 to 6 minute video every Thursday. It's going to be called Toss Back Thursdays, where we're going to review an old graphic novel and drink something. All right, so that's going to be every Thursday, so check that out. Hello, Mexican Americans. Is it me you're looking for? Haven't had their coffee. I don't know the rest of the words, but they had lunch for breakfast. We can make them up as we go. So they're just moving super slower. Hello.